So today we're going to talk about the two different style hedge trimmers that I have, and it's not going to be like a comparing like which one's better, but it's more like, you know, some of the pros and cons of each one, um, and you know, of course, there's huge price differences too. So we'll start off here with the Echo HC152. I purchased this one at Home Depot, I believe, a couple years back. It's only like $229 or something like that. It's pretty lightweight. I'll pick it up here a little bit later. It does have the double-sided blades, so you know you can cut both ways. If you're ambidextrous or whatever, you can hold it lefty, righty, and then you see the length. It's a pretty good length, and I'll show you a comparison between the length of this one and the Stihl. Now, it is pretty light. It only weighs like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 pounds. Very reliable. It works pretty good, and you'll see that here coming up shortly when we use it. And then, you know, that's your handheld model. And then you have these extension type hedge trimmers, and this is the Stihl HL100K. So this is the one that has the short pole with the fully articulating head. And so, let me see, I think I first show you the blades. Yeah, see, the blades between the two are identical. They're not interchangeable, but they're the same length. They're the same cut width, I think up to 1 inch branch, and they're both double-sided. So that's kind of cool. Now this is the part that makes this really a winner. You pull that down, and then the head becomes adjustable, so you can push that black handle up and down. I try to do it here, but I really can't. You'll see me doing it later. If you're not familiar with an articulating head, that means it can go up and down, so you don't have to bend over, and a lot of times you don't have to use a ladder for tall stuff. So the first thing we're going to do, right off the bat, notice this. Right now, there we go. See how it goes up. So if you're doing low stuff, you don't have to bend down, but look how straight I am. I can easily reach. I'm not straining my back, my shoulders, nothing. I'm not having to reach at all. So it's really very convenient to be able to use these hedge trimmers. Now, these extension hedge trimmers, this one here is like $550. They are not cheap, and I think the next one up is $600. It's got a little bit of a longer shaft. These are not cheap, but as you can see, you can adjust it. If you flip it, with it being a little bit on an angle already, now you can kind of come around and get the edge. And I mean, I'm not straining. It's completely stress-free. I mean, the only thing I'm doing right now is burning a little bit of fuel, spending a little bit of time. But there is something that you need to notice. Look at the wide open area that I'm standing in. Look how far back the motor is away from the bush. So this is something that you got to consider when you have just this machine. There are times when you're going to be in close quarters, close to a home, close to cars, what have you. And it's a little bit hard to use a long extension like this. Now you can adjust the head, put it more at like a 90-degree angle, which would then cause you to stand a little bit closer to the shrub, but it gets a little bit awkward. This, for me, is the ideal position, just either straight flat, like the way it is now, with no adjustment in the head, or one click. I'll have it adjusted out like maybe one click. But, I mean, you can see what I'm doing here. I could do this all day long using these hedge trimmers. And I have no strain on my back or like the back of my legs, your hamstrings from stretching or reaching or anything like that. And I can trim hedges as high as that fence behind me with no problem, no need for a ladder, nothing. So let me go ahead and put this tool down and grab the camera. I know that we're going to do a little walk around here. So let's check this out. And all this is being done in real time. I'm not racing. I'm not, you know, trying to show you how fast everything and anything is. Just showing you a comparison. Now right off the bat, look at the arch in my back. I'm bending over. I'm working a little bit harder. But look how much quicker I go. Granted, this shrub is a little bit smaller than the other shrub we just did, but look how fast, how much more maneuverable this tool is because it's so small. So I can very quickly shape this shrub up, make it all nice and round, and move on to the next one. But it comes with a cost. Your back. I am stretching my back a little bit here. See the little arch going on there? Right behind my shoulder blades, I have lots of pain, and this kind of helps contribute to it. So the extension hedge trimmer takes that away, but makes things a little bit slower, and tight quarters makes it a little bit rougher. But you can see half the price for this hedge trimmer, and you can do the shrub in half the time, to be honest with you. So we got a few more to do, and we're going to go back to the extension hedge trimmer for this next one. And I want you to notice, while I'm trimming up the hedge, watch how close the engine comes to that brick wall right there where the garage is. It's going to happen. It gets close. I don't hit it, but it does get kind of close. And if that wall was about a foot closer to the sidewalk, I would be hitting it right now. I'd be bumping the motor on the wall. And, you know, that's kind of something that you got to think about when you're in close quarters. But last year I did a video very similar to this, and the biggest thing that I could say was, if you had to buy one or the other, I would probably go with this one here, because, yeah, the tight quarters is a little bit tight, but if you're not having tight quarters, and if you've got to do some tall bushes or some very low bushes or anything like that, having the articulating head makes it really, really nice to be able to save your back. And I mean, you can see, you can go quick with these if you want to. You can. Hopefully I'm going to move the camera for you. There we go. So we got these four here, and I'm just going to go ahead and decide that even though it's kind of close quarters, my experience level has it to a point where I can shape these up, and I know how to kind of stand. You start figuring out, okay, well, I can use it in this area and this way, and I can manipulate this shrub and avoid having to get against that brick wall over there, you know, by adjusting the head and stuff. So if you guys want to just watch for a few minutes, this video is almost over. We'll shape up these last four shrubs, and we'll just go ahead and get it from there. But the biggest thing I want you guys to take out of this, it's not a comparison between Echo versus Stihl. It's not a comparison between commercial versus residential, because the Echoes are more of a residential one. This is just two different styles I'm showing you. I'm comparing the styles just so if you had a question like, I wonder what's the advantage to a handheld hedge trimmer versus an extension hedge trimmer. Well, the advantage is close quarters, and you can sling them things around much faster. And if you got ideal conditions where you don't have to climb up ladders too much or anything like that, you can make up a lot of time with those handheld hedge trimmers. Now, the advantage to this extension one, is there's almost no job that you can't do, to be honest. I mean, you can just continue to do hedges, low hedges, tall hedges, regular hedges. You can just keep on knocking out jobs with these hedge trimmers. And really, it's just a tight area work that might slow you down a little bit. But in time, you get used to it, and you start figuring it out. And if you've just got a few yards or a few houses or a few jobs that really have some tight areas and it's just really hard, hey, you can always do like I did. Pick yourself up a cheap residential pair. I mean, as little as I use those hedge trimmers, I use them pretty much like a residential user would, you know, like a homeowner. I barely ever use those hedge trimmers. I'm always using this one. So, just a little food for thought. Again, these were like almost $600 with tax, or maybe they even were $600 with tax. And the Echo handhelds at Home Depot were like $250 with tax or something like that. They weren't much, maybe $280. I don't know, maybe they're $279. I don't know. We'd have to look it up. I just don't remember. It was a couple years ago, but it wasn't much. It was about It was about half price. So, anyways, that's about it. We about got these shaped up. Again, this is all done in real time. I'm not rushing. I'm not delaying. I'm just doing a halfway decent job, trying to show you guys, you know, that you can get all this work done in the open without going up against brick walls too much, just by the way you angle the head and stuff like that. So, yeah, this video is going to be over in about a minute, so I'll go ahead and shut up now.